Okay, this next one is a video that I don't know if I can watch on Twitch anymore because of one section in it. You'll see what I mean.
There was also a shooting in Germany where 5 were killed, but that's been increased to 6. So a 6th person did not survive the shooting in Germany. So let's have a look at the shooting in Germany. And now that we know who it is, any guesses, Islamist?
Yep, it's not a native German.
Just making an assumption here? You seriously just making a racist assumption? That's insane. That's insane that you guys are doing that. Turkish Muslim murders 6 in Germany. Oh no, bro. Oh, would you look at this. Turkish Muslim murders 6 in Germany. 6 people were shot to death in Stade, Germany, at a youth facility. Authorities have now confirmed the shooter was a Turkish Muslim. Here's Elon Musk. Happen again. His calculator. Yeah, but at least he didn't win, right? Oh, at least we're not speaking German. Right, chat? At least we're not speaking German. No, instead we just have North Africans, beating French white kids to death. We've got sub-Saharan Africans
That's happening.
masturbating on beaches in front of kids. We've also got Turkish Muslims shooting up a youth facility in Germany. We've got Muslims driving over people in cars when white people are just trying to have a nice shopping trip. Oh.
Yeah, that annoys me the most. Christmas markets in Germany getting shut down because every year, so many times, Muslims drive cars into the Christmas shoppers. That shouldn't be an issue. The Germans should not be able to just do Christmas shopping at a Christmas market without having like anti-tank barriers around them to prevent extremist Muslims from killing them.
Oh, but at least he didn't win, right? Let's see if we can get the full details here. The Post accurately reports a real mass shooting that occurred on June 29th, 2026 at a mother and child youth welfare facility in Stade, Germany, where a gunman killed 6 staff members, 4 women and 2 men, before being arrested. The shooter was a 45-year-old man born in Germany with Turkish roots. You know what? That's actually worse. I know people are just... It's like, oh, but it was born here, though, so he's been... Do you know what that's worse? The fact that he grew up around German culture, he grew up around white culture, and he still went ahead and did the most Muslim thing you can think of. 45-year-old man born in Germany with Turkish. He was 45 years in Germany, this guy. Probably not consecutive. Living in the Hanover area, police described the incident as a personal family tragedy stemming from a...
Yeah, if you're immigrants, that means your families. A lot of your culture you get from the families and the community around you. And the community around you is probably a lot of people that are directly from Turkey. And it's still very different from being an ethnic German and someone who's fully inherited German culture. So, of course, they're more likely to do this. And he's probably returned to Turkey many times and have much heavier dose of Turkish culture than an ethnic German would.
A custody dispute over his infant daughter, rather than terrorism. Again, they're trying to move away from the terrorism part. Police described the incident as a personal family tragedy stemming from a custody dispute over his infant daughter rather than terrorism. Chat, real quick. Has this happened from an ethnically German man who's lost his daughter in a custody? Did he go ahead? Did he shoot up a youth center? There are thousands of German men who lose their children in custody battles all the time. Do they go ahead and shoot up youth?
No.
Centers, do they? No, they don't do that, do they? No, it's weird that. Yeah, it's weird that with the Muslim population so far not as high as the German population, I would say that puts the per capita of Muslims again. They're trying to subvert away from terrorism, so it's never classified as terrorism. So whenever you look up how many terrorist attacks are being committed by Muslims, it's exceedingly low and is only ever attributed to
Yeah. It's not good. Maybe it should be its own specific category of terrorism attack, because this is obviously one guy acting on his own because of reasons. There's terrorist attacks that the guy's part of an organization, that other people encouraged him and arm him. You know, like the IRA, for example, terrorist attack. Those are different, I think, than one guy going postal. It's a different problem. It's the demographic doing it might be the same, but I don't know if I would call this terrorism. because terrorism is its own specific problem. It has networks, it has organizations, it's something like Al Qaeda, ISIS, Hamas. When you just have one guy doing things, then you just have a criminal, in my opinion. So I don't know if I call it. The impact is similar to a terrorist organization attack. You'd have to call the mass shootings in the United States terror attacks too, if you followed this logic.
Very specific Islamic terrorist attacks. This I would consider to be a terrorist attack. Yeah, same as the car ramming, same as the stabbing, same as the beheadings, same as all these. They will never classify these things as terrorism because if they...
The car rammings, that I think is more terrorism because that is not done for some personal reason, like your kid being taken away from you. That is deliberately charging Christmas markets. It's a religious terrorism. That I will agree with. And I bet you a lot of these rammings in cars, there was a group of people talked about it. It didn't just spontaneously come up in their heads.
They continue to classify each and everything a Muslim does as terrorism, which it is, because they're doing it against us specifically. He didn't shoot up Muslims, he shot Germans. Oh, look at this. The post's framing as a Turkish Muslim.
Yeah, but a youth center, that's not a religious institution. And that guy clearly had his daughter taken from him or something. So it's a guy going postal is more the category I'd put it in. Christmas markets, driving car into that is just a religious terrorism. They're targeting Christians because they're Christians at a Christian Christmas market. I do think they're a little bit different.
Attack drew significant pushback in replies, with users correcting that he's actually a German citizen. Go f yourself. If the blacks in America have proven anything at all, it's that being born in these places weirdly does not make you of this place. And actually,
I agree with that sentiment. What's coming up is the problematic part.
He was actually born in Germany, actually. Weirdly, that doesn't seem to have changed his behavior at all. I mean, you've got blacks in America that have been there for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I think he's coming to the wrong conclusions here.
Do they act right? Or do they still act like Africans? They still act like Africans, right? Like they're nowhere near Africa, and they haven't been to Africa in hundreds.
Yeah, this is part that you cannot say on Twitch.
Hundreds of years. They have no idea what Africans act like. And yet, they kind of still act like them, don't they? Isn't that weird? Like I've said before, you can take the black out of the jungle, you cannot take the jungle out of the black.
That right there. That is why there was slavery, believing blacks were somehow inherently savage. And he's clearly, can't take the jungle out of blacks. That is racism. I'm sorry. The bad type, actually. Understandable given the circumstance, but it's not the right conclusion. Poverty is the issue. We have all these blacks brought into America as slaves. They're freed. They're still poor. And poverty is hard to escape from. If you're in a ghetto, very few people get out of the ghetto. And there are those that do. They integrate into America, and yeah, there's nothing wrong. Let's say if you go to someplace like the Hamptons and see a black person there's no hint of violence, completely normal. But poverty, crime, violence, all are linked together. And poverty has its own inertia. Like I said, hard to escape from. And so, yes, 100 years, if you have one group that's predominantly poor in ghettos, a lot of them will still be there 100 years after they've been freed from slavery. Add to that Iran-Contra, wherein the CIA started smuggling or flooding the United States with tons and tons of heroin and cocaine. Guess which neighborhoods the CIA targeted? Black neighborhoods. They used black neighborhoods. They sell the drugs there and from there to distribute them into other neighborhoods. And so you have like state reinforcing. I mean, flooding black neighborhoods with cocaine and heroin does not help elevate black people out of poverty. Not one bit. It does help them become more violent and addicted to dangerous substances. So you have those two elements. Poverty, the inertia of you have a large group that's in the poverty category. 100 years later, there's a good chance a lot of them are still going to be disproportionately poor because you don't escape from it that fast. And then secondly, you have government actions that reinforce, that target specifically black communities. That's another thing. And by the way, that's not systematic racism, what the fucking CIA does. It's not all of whites getting together. It's some very fucked up people that without the consent of the rest of America deciding to do this. And so don't even talk to me about systematic racism. That's just, I want those people at CIA in jail that did that as much as you do. So that is why. And finally, the third thing, cultural things. Yes, culture is transmitted from parents to child, through community to child. And, black culture, quote unquote, in the United States, a lot of that is ghetto culture. It's poverty culture, like swearing all the time, or like the aggressive way you speak, gangster, celebrating gangster. You go to any slum, any country on earth, like in France, you'll hear people speak with the same cadence, same style as black people in America, and the same aggressiveness, same gangster black culture in America exists in every country that has slums and violent slums. It's that culture. It's not specifically black in any way. It's just, it's rather, if you have a slum, you're going to have something like that type of culture. Swear happy, aggressive, culture that will develop. And to the extent that blacks, you have, it's a type of behavior that won't get you into a country club. If you have people embrace the behavior associated with poverty, that sort of reinforces, it doesn't help you move up in the world. Let me put it to you that way. So those are three factors I think are responsible that you still have blacks disproportionately violent compared to other groups, let's say. If I'll add a last fourth factor that's only in the last few years is this stupid white privileges. White people deserve to be hurt, and we should just be able to kill. This is, I'm talking as a black person would say. What we saw after the black reaction to Carmelo Anthony situation, that one. It's the insanity of blacks believing that because of quote unquote systematic racism, they're allowed to basically be racist against white people. So that fourth element intensifies the situation even more. What he came to, that blacks, you can't take the jungle out of blacks, I've seen evidence with my own eyes to the contrary of that. That, black people can be just as normal as a white person, just as it's the environment they grew up in is a huge part of that. Is the main problem.
BBC News actually covering this. Look at that. 6 people have been fatally shot at the Center for Mothers and Children. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but every single time I hear about a white guy losing a custody battle, they just go straight to a mothers and children youth.
And here, going from what I was saying, you have someone from Turkish culture. Yes, they might have been born in the United States, but their parents were Turkish. They've probably been back to Turkey many times. They have probably had a very different experience growing up than a ethnic German. And because they have a very different experience growing up, they are much more prone to violence. And
center and just start shooting up the place. Victims, 4 women and 2 men, were all staff members of the facility in the northern city of Stade near Hamburg. A number of other people were also wounded. 3-month-old baby and her mother were in the office at the time, but were not harmed. 3 people, including the suspected gunman, have been detained by police, and officials said there was no further threat to the public. The shooting appeared to have been committed for family reasons. Oh my God. We really are idiots to them, right? We really are just idiots to them. It was committed for family reasons. Does that hold up in court? Lower Saxony's Interior Minister Daniela Behrens told reporters late on Monday. Now, before you commit a mass shooting, could you please tick the box as to why you're committing this today? Yes, of course. I've family reasons. Yes, she called it an act of violence carried out in an extremely cold-blooded manner with no make no mistake, absolutely no political or economic motives. Okay? Yes, he may have been brown. Yes, he may have been Muslim. Yes, he may have been from Turkey. But
You know, another reason why Jake probably came to conclusion you says things like you can't take the jungle out of Africa is because he's from the UK, and the blacks in UK for the most part are new arrivals, are people directly from Africa. Most of them first generation from Africa, no children. It's not like situation where you have in America where you actually do have black people, a lot of them that are completely well integrated and in the upper echelons of society and behave normally and aren't any different from whites. You have far less of that in UK because blacks have been in UK for far less long. They're all new arrivals practically, so they're all let's say more unrestrained, less culturally assimilated.
it absolutely had nothing. He committed a mass shooting for the same reasons that all other Germans do. Yep. Because he's German and he was born in Germany. So whenever he does a mass shooting, he does it for the same reasons that all the other German men do. Stop being a bigot. Shots were first reported at around 12. How did he even get a gun, dude? It's so hard to... don't even answer that question. Shots were first reported around 10 past 12 local time, or 10 past 10 in the morning. Man, put that in... Oh, I guess that isn't 24 hour. According to local police, which later confirmed homicides involving multiple victims had occurred at a youth welfare facility on Dankerstrasse and told the public to avoid the area. The women and one man were shot dead inside the facility, police said. But why this place? Like, why did he target this place? Was that where the kids were? Was he related to any of them? The suspected gunman was 45-year-old Turkish national born in Germany and living in Hanover, Luneburg. Police Chief Catherine, another woman. He had an appointment at the center on Monday with many of the victims to discuss the custody of his daughter. Oh, okay, so he did know them. And he just shot them dead. She said he was known to police in relation to threats, but had not been considered as
I don't think he's going to get custody of his daughter now.
particularly violent, as a particularly violent individual. Oh my god. The cliches keep rolling in, don't they? The cliches just keep coming. All these women were like, no, he's not really a threat. Yeah, he shot up an entire youth center, you stupid bunch of idiots. He just shot up a youth center for women and children. You stupid idiots. Well, I didn't want to seem racist to the brown man. He definitely seemed like he was going to kill people, but I didn't want to seem racist. She said it was...
Yeah, that's another issue, is that our entire, in Europe, entire police state is go easy on people that are not ethnic Europeans because don't want to be racist. So, yeah, even though, 90% sure they're probably psychotic and going to shoot someone up, don't do anything about it because, you know, I don't want to be racist.
She said he was known to police in relation to threats. I'm going to shoot this youth center, is what he said. I'm willing to bet that's what he said. If I don't get my way, I'm going to kill her, is probably what he said. And the police were like, yes, that's very nice. You probably won't. You won't do that. Yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, if I don't get my way with this custody hearing, I'm going to shoot up the place. No, he's not going to do that. Leave him alone. I don't want the German police to appear as though they are in any way racist. Just because he is brown. He's German, man. He's German. He's Turkish. Yeah, but he was born in Germany, so he's German now. If I'm born in Turkey, am I Turkish? No. The suspect initially fled the scene in a car driven by a woman. If
you're born in, if Europeans go to Turkey and have a child there, it's not a Turkish child. It's only one way this stupid shit works.
One eyewitness told probably his new girlfriend, I bet. One eyewitness told news outlet Focus Online that police shouted, "Stop where you are." Oh yes, the very effective stop. Was it like Holten or something? Stop, bitte. They held out those police ladies held out their hand very firmly. Stop, bitte. Halt, bitte. Super useful. Did they have guns like this fella did? Yeah, one eyewitness told outlet Focus Online that the police shouted, "Stop where you are," at the man. and woman, and then fired repeatedly at the vehicle. They should have just started firing at the vehicle instead of been stop. Footage published by Build. Newspaper show police at a roadblock on a nearby country road, stopping a Mercedes with a blown-out tire. Armed officers are seen in the clip telling the occupants to get out and detaining them as they lie face down on the road. Large numbers of police and emergency personnel have been seen to the area. Children who are at a nearby daycare and primary school at the time of the shooting have since been collected by their parents, the city spokesperson said. Stada is located about 30 kilometers. You're just padding it out here. Absolutely wild. So all of these children were at risk. All of these children were at risk. And 6 people are dead, so that this Turkish guy could feel at home in Germany. So that
Yes. It's infuriating. It's maddening.
diversity can continue. There's I have to be careful what I say. We are very, very quickly running out of peaceful diplomatic ways to rectify this issue, okay?
He's being diplomatic. When his currency collapse and pension checks stop coming, he is going to be the type that's in charge.
There's 6 dead because diversity and stuff. Unreal. Do we have footage of this? It said there was footage. Armed officers are seen in the clip telling the occupants to get out and detained. It was footage published by Build newspaper. Women, that's a woman. Is that a woman? This is a woman. There's 2 more women here. Woman, suspected woman. And I believe on the right side here, whenever the camera switches over, I believe more women. Did she drop her gun? Let's watch. She dropped her gun. Did y'all see that? Watch this woman here.
This woman here.
Oh, yep, she drops her gun. No, did you see this? What? Watch her. She has to, look, watch. She's running, drops gun, right? She drops something here, a gun or something. She drops something. It was in her hands, now it's not. She has to wait until she comes to a complete stop and then lifts her gun with her back. So glad we've got female cops, man. Look, oh, drop something. We just stop. Let me just get.
I actually do think we do need some female cops for some purposes. It's good to have a female that can body search some people, for example, it's very useful to have some female cops. And to calm down traumatized female victims of some type of abuse, good to have a female cop. There are some cases where a female cop can be useful. Arresting violent criminals is not exactly one of those cases.
That real quick. There we go. I got it. Do you know what that reminds me of? That's very, very similar to the bumbling idiots that we saw during the Trump assassination attempt. Do you remember that? The first one? You remember that?
Yeah.
They were crowding around Trump and they were trying to get him into his vehicle.
And firefighters, cops. Cops needs to be able to do arrest. And a woman can't arrest a beefed up man without, they can shoot him maybe, but they can't really arrest him without killing him. You need a man, a well-trained man that can chase down and handcuff a criminal.
And you had one of the female Secret Service agents trying to find her gun. Couldn't find it. Do you remember that? Yeah, female Secret Service. This is wild that she just drops her. It looks like her gun, right? She's dropped something. This is a shit show. Look at this peaceful, beautiful German countryside, and 6 people have just been killed because we thought it would be really neat to have a Turkish guy living in Germany. Oh, pick up the pace. Yeah, look, you can see the big fat titties bouncing up and down here. Look, yeah, that's a girl's run. Oh my god, it took her 20 business days to get across this strip of tarmac. Oh my god, that is that's female cops, man. Like, what the f are we doing here? Why are there so many like domestic women here? They're not even military. They're not even like trained or athletic looking. They're just really domestic looking women that they should be at home or working in an office, or at home actually is where they should be. But these domestic looking women, right? So this girl back here, she's running like an overweight, like kitchen.
It's not a problem that there's female cops. The problem is, why are there so many female cops? Like I said, there are cases where female cops are useful. This arresting dangerous, violent shooter is not one of them. So, but why are there like How many are there here in this picture?
Cook, right? You should be serving food to kids in a primary
3,
school.
4.
You can see her gigantic cans bouncing from here. She's running like a girl. Like, they're not even athletic. They're not even athletic. They're just domestic looking women that should be at home with kids. Why the fuck are they here?
It's a tiny bit off topic, but not off topic for the end of this video. So let's add this into it.
I just don't
So, PC Lydia Ward punched by Mohammed Amaz at Manchester Airport, leaving her male
This is about why female cops are a little bit of a problem.
colleague to single-handedly take over. Says women belong in the police and are often better than men. Okay.
I just don't understand why there was no.
Some very specific situations, like dealing with female victims, body searchings, females. Useful to have a female cop around. Other situations, not so much.
need to punch me in the face. I
Do
mean,
you see that? Punch goes right down. That doesn't happen so much with men.
that felt like it.
What are you, fucking stupid? He punched you in the face because it pushed you on the ground, and then it made it to where you weren't able to arrest him.
You know, it was
got
a targeted assault on myself.
When she and colleagues tried to arrest a man at Manchester Airport, and this is what happened. That punch.
It wasn't like a full body punch. It's just one quick punch and she's down.
Broke her nose.
You're never prepared for that, even though I know.
You're not prepared for a suspect to...
That's the entire point of the police, is to arrest violent people. It's number one thing. All the other stuff, yes, it's nice. It's you need to deal with petty stuff, but the most important job of the police is to protect the public from dangerous individuals. And you failed in that job.
to hit you as a police officer? I think we have a big problem here.
Mohammed Fahir Amaz was convicted of the assault of PC Ward.
Just felt like people were, you know, she's useless.
Yeah, that is her right there. Yes, got punched in the nose, dropped, and then is crying about it during the incident.
She should have done more. The videos of me had made those comments come to the forefront of should women.
Cops have to be intimidating. You are the people responsible for upholding the law. It's not just you. One of your jobs is to be a deterrent. Criminals have to be afraid that you'll show up if they do something wrong. Now, no criminal looking at you right there is afraid that you will show up when they do something wrong. Men, maybe. The male cops that did the rest. Those, they have the deterrence. You're not deterring anyone.
I mean, be police officers. Policing isn't about being a ninja warrior and being able to, take people down.
It is. It's the main purpose of the police, to protect the public from dangerous individuals.
And it's about...
That's exactly what it's about. Yeah, so like if you can't take somebody down and they're running wild and they hurt somebody else, then I feel like you kind of messed up, didn't you?
It's about showing empathy towards people. And
Yeah, when you got punched and you were dropped out and then he kept on fighting, a man there doesn't get dropped out and instead punches back and takes suspect down, he could prevent other people from getting hurt.
the worst days of their life.
How about the empathy for everybody else at the airport that's having to deal with two psychopaths running around swinging and punching people? How about the empathy for the other people that are going to get hit in the face?
Yeah, empathy for criminals. Have empathy for the victims first, then think about empathy for the criminals.
Instead, too.
All manner of different roles. And there is some women that, are even better in them sort of situations than some men.
Not really, though, right? Like, we all know that's not true.
The police are there to punish for crimes once committed. Yes, it's true. And that is what they do a lot. No, but also, one of the main purpose is 911. You call the police. There's an emergency. There's someone beating their wife. That is the number one purpose of the police. To go and resolve violent situations is their most important job. Yes, also situations that are over, robberies, and go and take reports. That's important too. But responding to 911 and dealing with violent criminals is one of the most important jobs of police. Period.
You got laid out because you're a little woman. You should have never been in the police force.
Will always have an impact on me that I'll always, when I go to attend an incident as a police officer, have it in the back of my mind. Okay, things can escalate. things can get out of
You didn't think of that?
control very fast, and you know, you're never actually safe.
But now, as a new mum,
You thought you were...
she has returned to the job, still
Oh my
with
God.
questions.
I want to understand, I would have liked to have understood why he did what he did.
Because you were trying to arrest him and he didn't want to get arrested, so he put his fist right into your face. You understand now? You were an obstacle, and by putting his fist into your face, you weren't an obstacle anymore. What is there to understand?
These people have no survival instinct at all. Isn't it scary that they can vote?
I want him to understand how him doing that impacted my life. Maybe
He doesn't give a shit about you. There are some people that care about themselves. Why do you assume he cares about other people? You're retarded if you expect him to care about you.
for him to take some responsibility.
No, as a police officer, you should not expect other people to care about you. The violent criminals, the people you are supposed to deal with, are problem people in society that don't care about the greater good, or they wouldn't be going around hitting and being violent. They're not going to care about you. Oh my God.
For what he's done. Show some remorse. An apology.
And this is an actual interview that aired on TV. She actually believes this shit, that her job is not to protect the public. And I disagree with you, Protostel. The job of the police is to maintain order in society, is to respond to 911 calls or the equivalent in the UK and deal with violent people. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be a police officer.
Oh my God.
I've not had that, no.
Suicidal empathy.
Yes, suicidal empathy. Empathy for the guy who punched you in the face and had you bawling like a baby on camera.
Maybe if you get punched in the face 4 or 5 more times, it might knock a few neurons loose in your brain and it'll start working again. Maybe at that point, you'll start understanding the way the world works.
Infuriating. Anyway, this will be on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Come watch on Kick or Twitch. And I'll see you next video. Bye.